about. Welcome to it. My name is Mbali. If you can't pronounce that, please do me one big favor. Do not bite off your tongue because I can't actually give it to our penguins. They say that human tongue doesn't taste quite nice, so they end up not having it for dessert. We have Tobile, that's if she can hear us, of course. Okay, she's giving you a smile. I think that's good enough. So basically what Tobile is going to be focusing on is not just feeding the animals, but it's also learning if they are all eating like how we anticipate for them to eat. If a penguin is not eating like a normal penguin, it could be hinting us that this bird is either getting sick or you're just not good at your job. Okay, I want to ask you a quick question. Please note you can stop me anytime for questions, but I get to ask the first one. Who's ready? That was the first question. But the actual question is, what are these animals? What are African penguins? Yes, you see. Okay, are they fish? Are they birds? Or are they a mixed breed? Yes. Are you sure? Yes, well done. They are birds. Yes, you see. They birds, hey? Okay. So the reason why penguins can't fly, even though they're birds, since I can't tell you anything about the ostrich, it is because the penguin's bones are thick and solid, almost like a tree log. You don't find any marrow in the middle of their bones, and that alone makes them too heavy to be able to take off from the ground and fly. Okay, but when they are in the water, you are quite lucky to see some of the birds swimming. They just use their wings as flippers, and that's how they manage to steer themselves and swim quite, gracefully when they are in the water. So when you see some bubbles pushing from pretty much the penguin's bottom, don't say, ooh, that's used food, hey? It's more like fish and squid, so it's actually good. Okay, so the bubbles that come from their backs especially, it doesn't mean that a penguin is passing out air, because I don't think they get enough gas to pass out air. So what they're doing are their feathers pushing firmly onto their skins to prevent the skin from getting wet. In other words, penguins have got waterproofed feathers which help them in case they can't get food easily. They can stay for as long as it takes and their skin is going to stay dry the whole time. I'm going to allow you to fill some of these feathers. Once you've filled, please keep the bottle going so that everybody gets a sense. But how did we end up with these feathers in this bottle? Did we steal them? Did we put some anti-feather cream on the birds? What's the story? If you are dressed in black and white, you may not answer this because that will be outsmarting everybody. You already look like a penguin. Okay, so basically, okay, I'm gonna skip that because somebody might think of the answer. Okay, let's go to feeding quickly. When Sikona, Toby, sure, I am so used to feeding with Sikona. Can you please show our visitors what sort of feed you're giving our birds, what sort of food rather? There you go. Now just look at Toby closely and follow how she gives that food to these birds. Is that the head part, the side, or the tail of that food going into the penguin's mouth first? Head of what? Good. What type of fish? Gosh, give yourselves a pat on your backs. Well done. Because usually people don't quite see that it's sardine and they end up making up their own name, which is dead fish, which is more like outsmarting me when you say it's dead fish. Of course it's dead fish, but it has a species that it belongs to. So it has to be the head, simply because the scales of the fish always face the tail direction, and when the fish is still alive, you find them using their fins so that they can move nicely in the water. But once the heartbeat is gone, those fins are now going to come to the body. Something you can't quite see from where you are is that inside the penguin's mouth, right on the roof of their beak and on the tongue, they get these hook-like structures, and those hooks are actually facing the throat direction, in other words, backwards, so that if they catch a confident fish that thinks it can still manage to get out of the penguin's mouth, it doesn't become as easy. So those hooks are now going to grab onto the fish using the fish scales so that it doesn't slip out. When they're ready and comfortable, then they'll start to swallow their fish or their squid whole. Sardine is not the only thing that the penguins are interested in eating. They love eating masbanga, which is some tiny fish, and they also enjoy eating some anchovies, what you would actually eat as fish paste in most instances. How much food is enough food for a penguin daily? Yes, Baba. That one. Ian. Okay. Ian or Tria or 3 or 6. Imagine. So up to 6 fish per a penguin per each day, which would actually put me in a position to say you wanted me to go head to head with one of these birds. In other words, compete over food. In order to eat as much as they eat, I would end up having to eat, simply because I weigh 75 kilograms daily, I would have to eat from 65 to some 80 burgers with chips. It's insane. Just by looking at how much food you'd have to eat, if your eyes don't pop, I think you would just feel squeamish by looking at how much food you would have to eat. Because already one burger is too much. If you finish your burger, most chances are you're not gonna finish your chips. So you've got to decide which is which. Oh gosh, go away from me. Anyway, after they've swallowed their food, which is swallowed whole all the time, it takes 2.5 hours for that bird to get the food digested into a soup-like formula. So after the penguin has traveled into the sea and back to its hatchlings, it means that they will have food that's ready to be brought up, because they get to feed the little ones mouth to mouth, which is quite cute, because some sea creatures don't actually look after the young. If you fish, you just spawn, and your little ones will just have to find their way around life. And if you're a shark, you have your baby and you swim as far away as you can. Otherwise, you'll be tempted to eating your own young, because sharks are there to make sure that they take care of all the sick and the weaklings from the water, just to make sure that they keep only the strongest genes in the area. Okay, so my favorite penguin here is known as Lani, because he is just as naughty, just as vocal, he's very loud, and is one of the biggest males in our rookery. Lani, Toby, they will correct me, I think he's in his nest. Okay, so the first nest on your far left, there in the corner, where there's a penguin inside, that's Lani. Lani is such he's a diva, you know. He's a diva, and in most cases he won't want to leave his nest. You know why? He's good at stealing other penguins' nests. So he's scared that if he gets out of it, the actual owner will come back and say, "Yeah, wena, this is not your home. Go find your own nest." So Tobile will end up having to go to him and give him his food, but sometimes Tobile will make Lani work for his food, because for the penguins to actually move from wherever they stay to where the trainer is stationed is actually giving the person a fair chance to see if the penguin is waddling like a normal penguin or if they're walking quite funny, because some of them were rescued and we need to know if they're making any progress, if there's any progress at all. Okay, I want to ask you now, out of the 60 penguins that we've got, majority of which happens to be females, from where you are, which ones do you think are girls and which ones would you say are males? Sorry?
I was saying the one with the pink things here. Pinkish, like those eyes there.
Okay, so the ones that are wearing some hot pink blush are girls. But in the animal kingdom, in most cases, males happen to be the cuter ones. What are you saying about males? Okay, actually those pink coloration above each penguin's eyes, that's where you'll find some of their sweat glands. So if the penguin goes really pink, like you can see from where you are, it means they are actually hot. When those glands go pink, They can just spread their wings to the side for all the cool air to circulate. But just like us, penguins get tired of standing, so they end up lying on their tummy. If they're exposing their feet like this at the back, it means they are also exposing the other sweat glands which are beneath their feet. But penguins don't perspire like how we drizzle in sweat. They actually excrete this humid air. Hi, Sissy. You wanna ask something? Yes, please. You're pretty. Oh, stay surprised. I used to get those, hey? You'll be alright. Okay, so please don't look at me now, okay? You've got to look at the penguins because I am not gonna repeat this. You see all the penguins that are black and white? Those are your girls. You see all the ones that are white and black? Because those are your boys. At least I know you're listening attentively. I'm joking. So there's no telling just by looking at a penguin that this one is a girl for sure, because her brows are on flick and she's got some blush going on and her hair is done and whatever. No, it doesn't work like that. We have to take blood samples from one of the penguin's feet. We then look at the DNA of each penguin. Once we've gotten the results back, that's when we can put those yellow bands you see either on the right, if not the left wing. The tags that are on the right wing of a penguin, those are your girls, because girls are presumed to be always right. Men or boys usually get left out if they're not last. So that's why the boys only wear a tag on the left wing. But you ladies are laughing right now. You're not going to be so laughing after this, because in most cases, since penguins usually keep the same partner throughout their lives, if there's ever a room for divorce or separation, the girl is to blame. So girls can somehow just break up with a particular male, but the male cannot do that. You know what they do? Okay, I'm actually not feeling this vibe, you know. So instead of breaking the girl's hearts completely, he would rather just find a second wife. Sounds like you. Yo, this is why I love working here, hey? So now, if the girls see anything of each other, that's when they bite each other like they crazy. The male is so clever that he doesn't get involved. He doesn't want to play referee. If he does, he'll be beaten by both his wives, which is quite cool. So that's gonna happen to you, sir. Okay, yes, buddy. You're gonna translate for me, please. Who wants to go with the Pekavena? Yes, they can bite. See ya. Sorry. You always Oleg though for wanting to go there. You always buy Oleg. Okay, so the other one I wanted to get to is that when they're in the water, they can hold their breath for about 2 to 2.5 minutes. And that buys them enough time to actually explore where their potential prey is. They come up, get some air, and then they go after that particular fish. And that makes their meal for the day. Life expectancy for African penguins only. I'm not talking about all the penguins you've ever heard of. They can live for 15 years maximum, 10 to 12 years minimum out in the wild, where they have to face a high degree of pollution. Like right now we have a lot of rubbish flooding our oceans, not due to storms that happen from time to time, but also from not wanting to put our rubbish in the rubbish can. We're like, good, and it doesn't go, it just stays on the floor. The wind will come or the rain wash it down into the sea, and that's when you end up losing some of these creatures. But in facilities like here, where not only we've got clued up staff, not only where we can afford having vets in our facility, they can actually live for 30 odd years, and that's not in cat or dog years, that's in human years. We've had a record breaker, which is quite sad because she is no more. Dee passed away 2 years ago. When she died, she was a phenomenal forte. Do you know how that happened? Because you are never whiny when you come here. You see this lady? She's on a sugar high right now, but that's not where I'm going. She is having a cold drink, She had an option to take one of the free plastic cups, but because she is an environmentalist at heart, if she doesn't know, drinking straight from your can is actually minimizing chances of that plastic that doesn't get recycled even when we send our stuff for recycling from actually going into the sea to kill yet another creature. Okay. Fortunately here we've got divers, because you pay enough, who can actually look for foreign objects in the water and go after them. But in the sea, I don't think there's a person who would ever volunteer to check where the rubbish is and remove it so that it doesn't kill yet another creature. But I'm not here to give you an eco-depression, because you're one of the good people that actually give to a worthy cause. In case you didn't know, we are a non-government and a non-profit organization. For us to be able to keep the doors open for any stranded creatures that are desperate for rehabilitation, lies in your hands. Had you thought twice about coming here, we wouldn't have been able to continue the work that we do. I wouldn't have this job because I began as a volunteer, and that was fair enough for me to learn if this is something I would want to actually continue doing. You see, so you actually paid for all the training that I've ever done in our facility. Not that only, but we've got schools, some are underprivileged. For us to give them a fair discounted rate relies on your visit. You see how much you do without even knowing. Okay, now I'm just gonna open for questions. If there aren't any questions, your next activity will be starting in 45 minutes time. That's 1:45. In other words, 13:45, in case that didn't sound clear enough. We'll be having something at 1:45. Who knows what that is? Thank you so much. Oh no. At least you know when we're feeding sharks. Good job, you guys. He's just being silly, I know. We are feeding, not only feeding, yes, we're doing the seal presentation. You have to check this out. If you thought the dolphin show was amazing, I'm sure you'll learn a thing or two from the seals, or maybe get chosen to kiss them and take pictures and touch them. Who knows? You'll never know. But you have to be on time for the show if you want to be one of the lucky persons chosen, because we do select 2 people from the audience to actually share a magical moment with one of our seals. Thank you so much from